Mark here. This is the Big Critique Podcast, and thanks for stopping by. So, today I want to talk about the MTA. What's that shitty little joke? Not going your way or something? I don't know. Whatever the case may be. So, I wanted to talk about the MTA because of the new tech that I've noticed at some train station. There's some push-to-go technology that if you read the actual computerized screen they've now put on the turnstiles, it's saying that it's in testing mode. So I've done a little reading up on this, and it will be, I believe, in testing mode anywhere from 2021 to the year 2023. That's cool. Thanks, MTA. So I've spoken to some actual MTA employees about this. I didn't get to take an interview from them, as you might imagine. They probably don't really want to be on camera bashing their employer. Not that they had such negative feedback. They pretty much said what almost every other New Yorker said, which is, I'm sure that you could take that money and put it into smarter places. You wouldn't be wrong. We have some highly antiquated infrastructure, at least last time I checked. So before I come to you guys with info to critique, I try my best to get all the data that I can on it. And right now, the data that I have on the MTA is, so first of all, as far as I understand, there are at least certain switchboard rooms or traffic control rooms. I think one of the more famous ones is the one on West 4th Street. That are operated completely manually by switchboard. So you might imagine how that would cause some delays and issues in your everyday commute. However, to critique the MTA as a service, I will say this. Guess what, guys? We can prevent forest fires.
And your family screaming, "Oh my God, we're burning alive! No, I can't feel my legs! In comes a meat wagon! Woo, woo, woo. And the medic gets out and says, "Oh my God!" New guy's in the corner puking his guts out.
Okay, fine. Maybe not as forest fire, but I thought it was still pretty funny. But on a serious note, we can make the experience better ourselves for riding the MTA. I gotta take that shit too. Listen up, people. This is my chance to rant about this, all right? I don't really give a shit when the MTA has a delay. Like, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do. I choose not to get mad at things that I cannot control or I know I'm not going to try to change at all. This is where I get annoyed. And I don't think I can try to change this or... I try not to get so mad about it, I should say, because I don't think I can change it, but I'm going to at least try to spread word now and try. Take notice next time you're on a train during rush hour, and if it's not completely packed to the brim, but it's moderately packed. So you will notice that there will be a pack of people standing by the doors. But there will be room to move around. We don't have to pack the exits of train cars, people. We don't have to do that. You can be motherfucking cognizant of what's around you, and you can move around so that even a skinny guy like myself, and I'm not tooting my own horns by any means, don't worry, I'm very much out of shape, but for me to have to squeeze my fucking ass onto this train car when there's clearly room past the doorway, that tells me there's a problem. People, pay attention. Move the fuck out of the way.
God damn it!
I'm gonna do this the old-fashioned way.
And I don't even just say that when I'm getting into the train car. Seriously, be cognizant. If there's room around you to breathe, fucking move. Don't crowd the doorways. That's what I wanted to say. There you go. Anyway, so don't crowd the doorways. And the other thing, let's move, people. When we're walking, I can't explain to you how many times somebody has made me late to work because they were walking like a fucking tortoise in the morning. Get a cup of coffee and wake the fuck up. Move. You should not be making anybody late to work. This is what I want you to think about, people, from now on. When you're walking in the train station, I want you to think to yourselves, Am I walking at a pace that somebody else who might be in a little bit of a rush would appreciate? Am I blocking the stairway? Have you ever literally been walking up and down the stairway and like it's like if you've ever played basketball before, somebody's picking you. They're literally moving in front of you. Like as you try to get around them, they're moving like this, like this. You try to come at them off and it just doesn't work. People, let's get cognizant. Let's solve this problem. Let's optimize, so to speak, the train riding and the MTA experience for everybody. This wouldn't cost a motherfucking dollar. Could you believe this is free? This is free. All we have to do is be self-aware, people. Just be a little more self-aware. Be a better human being. Don't block people when they're trying to walk around. Be cognizant. You don't want to be that person that people talk shit about to during the day. You don't want to be the reason somebody messages their girlfriend or husband or fiance or whatever, or even just their friend and says, I fucking hate this person, they just made me late to work. How many times have you gotten a text from a friend saying, oh, I wish I wanted to kick this person down the stairs?
Nagkawin na sa nagkawin.
Jump! Why are you there? George! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Don't do it! Fly your mouth, fly your mouth. No!
I bet you nobody's going to admit to that because that would be admitting to wanting to actually kill somebody, and, you know, people like to not go down that route. But the point is, let's be cognizant. Anyway, I talked a lot of shit about this, and that's kind of all I have. So, I mean, to give you more factual stuff, because I do like to try to include some facts on the shit that I talk shit about. So, yeah, there's a high probability because I haven't been able to find too much info online. Maybe I haven't searched for that long. But there seems to be much more like infrastructure from the 1930s still in place in the MTA than there should be. I know that as of this year, the MTA had a competition for what company could come to them best with their solution to fix all the MTA's problems. And I think that they got, what was it, like 100 applicants or something of that number. So I think out of 100 was like 10 made it through to the final round, and the point of this contest was to get, I'm assuming like tech-related companies in, because it's going to be software-related, to try to address all the problems of the MTA. So from a standpoint of giving the MTA the benefit of the doubt, I will tell you this, in case none of you realized it. In order to really fix the MTA, it will cost a lot of money. Probably in the billions. I'm pretty sure I saw like one of the new authority figures or spokesman for the MTA explaining just how much it would cost, and I believe it is close to the $1 billion mark. If I'm wrong, you can comment and tell me I'm wrong. It's cool. Just comment. Oh, and like and subscribe. Sorry, got off topic for a second. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that in there. I'm going to throw it in there again a little bit later. Anyway, so, yeah. They're going through all this stuff. It requires a large budget. So I don't know how many of you have used the LIRR or the Metro North. I would gladly pay an extra few dollars a day to have an experience of riding the train to and from work similar to the LIRR or the Metro North. Gladly. Anytime. Yes, I would spend $10 round trip 100% to get to and from work. So what is that? That's $50 a day. I'm sorry, not $50 a day. That's a little bit expensive. $50 a week, right? I would do it. I would do it for the quality of life that I'm receiving. Now, not everybody will. Not everybody's going to want to hear that they're going to, like, for the MTA to expedite this process, but just so you guys know, they'd have to raise the fares very high. Most New Yorkers would not be happy about it. But whatever, there's a lot of people that just are not easily able to see end games and stuff. And that's fine. You know, it is what it is. But anyway, so that's my rant. That's my big critique for the MTA today. They have a ways to go. The city definitely has a ways to go in all aspects, but it's definitely trying. So kudos to them for putting some effort forth. And so just to give you a little preview for the next Big Critique podcast that I'll be posting, I'm not going to get too specific. I'm not going to ruin surprises, but I will say this. As of recently, within the last week or so, there's been an app that if you don't know and you use by now, I'm sure you're either just somebody who doesn't really mess with technology too much, or I don't know why you wouldn't, but there's an app that most people use that just made a huge update. Sorry, I lost track of what I was saying for a second. Just made a huge update for their design and infrastructure to the app, like so usability and stuff. And I'm going to critique that. I'm going to critique the design, the branding, and what branding means for those of you who don't know. Branding is their color schemes, their logo, their look and feel, all that stuff. It's the things that make you feel a certain way, psychologically speaking, when you use their app. And most of the time, or a lot of the time, it's what keeps users coming back, besides just, what you would use the app for. Now, what I'm going to try to do for all my podcasts is I'm going to try to bring people on relative to the subject or whatever I'm critiquing that have maybe more experience than I do. And so we can critique it together, and they can give you maybe a more experienced outlook on the pros, the cons, the good, the bad, and whatever comes in between. And yeah, so I do have a special guest that I believe, as of now, is supposed to be making a debut. If not, I'll just critique it myself. But I have done a decent amount of research on this particular app and the changes that have been made to it. So basically, we'll be going through those changes, and who knows, you might even get a little bit of a lesson on how to use the new version. Guys, I've talked enough shit about the MTA and all this stuff. Thank you so much for tuning in. Don't forget to hit your like and subscribe buttons. Throw me a like if you like the video. If you have a comment, if you would like to critique my podcast and tell me how much I fucking suck, because usually that's what people do in comments. No, I'm kidding. I've definitely seen tons of positive feedback in comments before. But if you have any comments or feedback, I'd love to hear it. Always looking for new ways to improve my stuff, and I'm fresh. This is my first real podcast for this channel, so I'm sure that there's a lot of things that I will want to change. But yeah, so again, I'm gonna shut up, like and subscribe, and I'm gonna leave links to my Instagram and all that in here as well. Thanks so much, guys. Bye.